Premium CTV, like sports, still largely relies on direct IO. And what's preventing it from going fully programmatic is probably a number of things, not just one thing in isolation. There's always challenges both on the supply side and on the demand side. So I think on one end of it, you have marketers who are used to operating in a live sports environment, a really quality environment where they're trying to get across a message from a branding perspective and trying to be in a moment with their consumer. And that's really, really important to them. That's like table stakes for their entire marketing for the whole year. And then on the other side of it, you have technology that wasn't really built for this tsunami of bid requests at one moment. You know, those algorithms are built to kind of match the daily consumption that somebody has across media, not a live sports event that has so many people tuning in. And when that happens, the platforms get a little confused. It looks like an inbound flux of fraud. Fraud can come in at that same time. So there's a lot of pressure on those platforms to throttle away inventory that's no good. And I think those algorithms are still learning how to sift through that and how to manage that kind of query load in such a short period of time.
So there's a clear need for things like pricing protection, accurate forecasting, and fast ad serving. Jean, which of these three is the biggest barrier that needs to be solved the soonest? It's hard to choose, but I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, there's definitely a need for accurate forecasting and pricing protection and quality and fast ad serving. I think from the buy side, the thing that we struggle with the most is if we can't get that forecasting and we don't understand the currency that we're buying in a live sports event or a premium CTV capacity, then it's going to be very difficult to allocate dollars to that. Like it's kind of that simple. What am I going to spend? What am I expecting to get? And when the forecasting isn't accurate, it really throws the rest of the balance of the marketing campaign into a place where you're starting to have to make choices that you didn't plan to make initially. So we want to make sure that we are being really judicious with our clients' dollars and that they're leading to outcomes and that the value is there for the marketer. So forecasting and being able to communicate with them really clearly, it's this portion of your investment and this is what you're going to get for it, is the baseline. From there, I'd say the rest of it falls into place, because if we get that right, then what I'm going to do is expect that the ecosystem has done the work to make sure that my ad serving is the highest quality, right? If I'm doing this level of investment on behalf of the marketer, it should be absolutely perfect. And then I think the pricing falls into place from there, because you're really, if you're getting that quality, if you're having that communication with your end consumer, you should have worked out the pricing ahead of time and known what to expect.
So from an agency perspective, Jean, does programmatic CTV actually deliver better outcomes for premium inventory, and how do we identify that?
Yeah, from the buyer perspective, from the agency perspective, when we take CTV into a programmatic ecosystem, we consistently see better KPIs. It's so exciting. It's like exhilarating. You know, sometimes you're like, this is the hypothesis and I've seen it before and I'm going to try it with a new marketer who's not used to working with their premium CTV partners in a programmatic activation. And you work through, you show case studies and you get a marketer to be comfortable with that. And then you launch the campaign, and I've never seen performance go down. I've only seen performance increase and tenfold. Now, does that last forever? No, it will plateau, but the point is you're reaching that audience, and that audience has been pre-qualified to want to engage with your brand, with what you're selling. So every single time that I've experienced making one of those big moves, it's been really positive for the marketer. And also I would say that we've come a long way in the ecosystem in terms of the technology available and how we're able to invest with partners. And I'm starting to see more where there's this really beautiful like win-win-win. The marketer is winning, the platforms are winning, they're delivering value in that chain. and the publisher is seeing exactly what they expected to see. So we talk a lot about it, or can we move dollars from direct to programmatic, and is there going to be this pricing disparity, and is the value exchange there for the publishers? I've seen when you're focusing on premium CTV, and that is your marketplace, and that is part of the marketing experience that you have sold into a client, and you have worked really closely with those publishers, the value exchange is there for them from a pricing perspective.
Let's stay on that topic of the value exchange from the publisher perspective this time. Publishers naturally protective of their premium inventory and still, even at this late date in 2025, wary of programmatic commoditization. It's still a fear. How do you convince them that opening up to programmatic won't just drive down their CPMs?
Well, I think it depends on how they're going to bring that inventory to market. So how do we convince publishers that moving their inventory into a programmatic ecosystem doesn't drive down the price and commoditize their inventory when they've seen that happen for perhaps like print or display? It has happened to their cohorts in other places. CTV seems to be pretty unique in that you can access a lot of it programmatically. More and more we're seeing publishers move. So to me, that would indicate that they are seeing the value in terms of pricing and there isn't a commoditization. I think, though, that we'll always have some kind of balance because some of these events might not make sense for a programmatic activation. And I think we'll start to rewrite what programmatic means, where you can kind of connect what's happening in direct space with what's happening in programmatic, either through measurement and audience, or even through like some hybrid platforms that are coming together so things are more automated and not disconnected, and publishers can keep control of certain types of inventory without necessarily opening them up to like an open exchange situation where they see the prices start to go down.
Jean, not sure if this is a crystal ball question or a wish list question for you, but from your perspective, do you see CTV converging toward one dominant buying model, or will we always have this hybrid of programmatic and direct deals for different inventory types?
Whether or not we see CTV converging towards a single buying model or we see in the future perhaps that there are multiple buying models is hard to say. Today there are multiple buying models and there's a lot of platform optionality. I believe, if I am looking in that crystal ball, we'll always have a couple of different models. There will always be a few different models because one, the inventory is different. The way a marketer is communicating with a consumer in those moments is very different. So if you're doing a large branding campaign and you're trying to interact with, consumers who are in a specific moment in an emotional space, that's a really different message and interaction than if you're targeting audiences with really specific and different details about your brand or your product. So I think that because the conversation and the content of what a marketer is getting across is going to be different in these different moments, there'll be different commercial models around that as well. And I think that there are ways to bring two things together and understand them without forcing them to be the same thing.